How do you protect yourself from zina? The reality is number one, everyone listen to this. It's not what you think I'm going to say. Self-restraint. Restrain yourself. You can restrain yourself. I mean, I had a 14-year-old come to me not so long ago. How do I protect myself from zina? I want to get married. Come on, be a little bit realistic. You got to protect yourself. You restrain yourself. Sabr. Come on, your day will come. When we were young, we also used to look at the opposite sex sometimes and think, when will I ever get married? Today, mashallah, we've got children of our own, mashallah. I'm sitting on about 8 children by the will of Allah. So, subhanallah, to be honest with you, you have to protect yourself. That's what sabr is all about. The reward you're going to get is for abstaining from prohibition. That's the reward. So not only your salah and your zakah, that's doing good deeds, but abstaining from bad is also a reward. So here's your opportunity, stay back. However, the hadith speaks about fasting. So you will fast. Fast every Monday and Thursday, fast 3 times a month. This will help you. Concentrate, have good company. Good company really goes a long way in protecting you from adultery. So what we need to do, subhanallah, is protect ourselves, have good company, read a lot of the Quran, go into lessons, try and expand your religious learning. Watch out how you use your phone. How you use your phone. I want to tell you something sad. Many of us feel we're in love with someone because of the phone. But the person in real life, I've come across so many who've got married as a result. A few have been happy, but a lot say, it's not who I thought it was. You know why? Today, like you have Photoshop, you also have akhlaq shop, which means somehow their akhlaq is shopped. You think that they're really amazing, and when you live with them, they ignore you. They're on the phone with someone else. And you start thinking, so don't be deceived by the phone. You know, when someone says, I love you, wallahi, so many of them are just saying it because it's just like saying, hello, hi, how are you? And you know what I love you means sometimes nowadays? I want to use you. That's what it means. I promise you it means that. Have you seen what I've said once, some time back on Twitter? I said, if people can say lol without laughing, they can say I love you without loving. And I think a lot of people caught on that. But I want to add something else today and tell you, a lot of the people say I love you and actually mean, without you knowing, I just want to use you. And because women are generally, emotionally, they get more attached. It's sometimes the youth, the young men who are abusing this attachment. So be careful. Abstain, be strict on yourself. You fast, you have good company, and you try and engage in more acts of worship. Go out and become a volunteer. Help here, help there. And subhanallah, when the time is right, then you start opening your eyes. And I have one statement for a lot of the brothers and sisters who are not married. Subhanallah. And that is, before you are married, don't close your eyes onto one person. As tough as that sounds. As tough as it sounds. Once you're engaged, then you close your eyes. Done. Because maybe Allah doesn't want you to marry the person because they are bad, horrible. Or maybe Allah doesn't want it because something might go wrong with the children that couple will have and you don't know. So maybe Allah is keeping you apart. I'm not saying don't try. You try. You speak to your parents. You convince them. You can even change your wilaya if you want. You know what that means? This is my wali. He's my father. I will go to the panel of scholars and tell them my father is blocking my marriage without any reason. So I want to marry without my dad. And if you qualify for that, you can actually shift that wilaya to a wali will be someone else. Who will it be? That panel of scholars in an Islamic country, you'd have the qadi or someone who would represent you as a wali. So the person becomes a wali of yours. So you need to be careful, because sometimes if you do that and you know that the person you want to marry is not standing on their own 2 feet in terms of, finances and so on, you might have to come back to your family one day and they might not want you at that stage. I think most families do take you back, but why should we do that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us ease. So if you want to protect yourself from zina, there are steps. The hadith speaks of fasting and lowering your gaze. Today people watch movies and watch this, and you know what? We see all these tutorials. Hijab tutorials are being watched by the males. I don't know what for. Hijab tutorials. And they forward you and say, did you see this hijab? Is this the camel hump? Brother, there's a hump in your head, man. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. What are you worried about this thing here for? Take it easy. Let the sisters go ahead and have a peep. But then you look at your wife and you say, I saw the tutorial. I think you need to look a bit like so-and-so, so-and-so. May Allah forgive us. So this is why we don't lower our gaze, and we don't realize lowering the gaze is very important, even when it comes to the screen. I know, you always get wise cracks in the youth. Sometimes they say, but Sheikh, I'm lowering my gaze, looking in the screen, I'm lowering my gaze. That's not what it is. You know what I mean. You don't look at these things by the will of Allah. And if you do, you are allowed to say, mashallah, If you really have great intentions, you can even say inshallah, but it's okay, that's where it stops.